Hi, I'm Dr. Faria Bukhari. I'm right here, Dr. Fab MD, in Arizona, US. I'm right now protesting against the deep state's attempts to sabotage the peace in Kabul that resulted in the latest heinous attack that killed so many American people and a lot of Afghans, injuring so many civilians. This kind of madness has to stop. We've been dealing with these deep state misadventures, atrocities, war crimes for the last 2 decades. The world has been watching in silence as the deep state has created a havoc all over the world in order to profiteer its military industrial complex. And while we're trying to procure peace finally in Afghanistan, which is going to lead to peace all over the world, the deep state strikes again and tries to sabotage this effort by attacking the American soldiers, the allies of US, and the Afghans who were trying to leave Kabul. There was no reason for the Afghan Taliban to attack these people. ISIS has already claimed responsibility. And who does ISIS work for? ISIS was created and was the product of the Iraq invasion. There was no ISIS in the world before the Iraq invasion happened. Who authorized the Iraq invasion? The current regime ruling US. Biden authorized the Iraq invasion. And ISIS came out as a byproduct of that invasion that was mind-crafted by the deep state to empower destruction, to empower unconstitutional, illicit occupations in foreign lands, to profiteer the military-industrial complex, all at the cost of the American soldiers, all at the cost of the American freedom, all at the cost of the trillion-dollar economy of US that eventually led to a global recession. We have done this all these years. We have watched these scumbags do whatever they want to do, get away with whatever they want to do, and if you look at what we have done to contain them, to stop them, to diffuse them, to neutralize them, we have done nothing. The peace is continuously being sabotaged in the region through these military contractors who work with these banned factions in order to continue to add to their paychecks, to continue to increase their bank balance. When will this stop? When will this stop? Someone has to take an initiative and do something about it. And we cannot just keep on watching them in silence and having them continue to blast off American soldiers, Afghan civilians, because every blast leads to more conflict. Every time a blast happens, the process of peace is sabotaged, compromised, and we are pushed back by another 10 to 20 years. Whenever we're trying to make progress, these deep state actors kick in and use their illicit, unconstitutional resources to sabotage and destroy peace in the region in order to keep their bank balances open, to keep the money coming, to keep their jobs, which is technically to kill people, which is technically to destroy the US economy and the global economy, which is to create conflict, to benefit from killing and droning children, to benefit from manslaughter, to benefit from genocide, to benefit from heinous war atrocities. Nobody is going to give peace to us in a plate. We as a community have to work for it. Our politicians are implicated. They are not sincere with the cause of peace. US has to stand up and rise against all odds and demand for peace. US has to stand up and rise against the deep state actors and stop their sabotage attempts that are disrupting peace in Kabul, that are actually risking the lives of the American soldiers, that are risking the lives of Afghan civilians who tried to help US. Afghan Taliban did not do the Kabul attacks. ISIS did. Who created ISIS? ISIS was created as a product of the Iraq invasion. Who signed off on the Iraq invasion? The Biden administration signed off under the Obama administration on the Iraq invasion. So today, if ISIS is empowered and resurging in the region, sabotaging peace in Kabul, who is responsible? Who is to take responsibility for that? Every politician who signed on Iraq invasion is responsible for creating this menace, not just for Afghanistan, but for the rest of the world. We all condemn terrorism. We all condemn terrorists. No religion in the world condones to terrorism. However, Indian RSS, the fascists of India, have created their own religion, which is totally deviant from the religion of Hinduism, where everything is legal, everything is okay to do. RSS with Modi abused Afghanistan as a proxy ground against Pakistan, against Kashmir for 2 decades. And yesterday, India tried to sabotage the peace process because it did not work with their Akhand Bharat Hindutva ideology. If Afghanistan is not in their control, they cannot claim their global domination agenda of a fanatic RSS ideology that wants every non-Hindu to convert to Hinduism, and not the real Hinduism, but their version of Hinduism. They think like ISIS, they act like ISIS, they are ISIS. And instead of confronting India, Biden administration doesn't do anything. India has been smuggling uranium unconstitutionally from India to the rest of the world. Biden administration ignores India. India has been lynching every non-Hindu on its land for years now under the Modi administration, committing heinous atrocities against civilians. Biden administration does nothing. And yesterday, American soldiers were slaughtered, blasted off by the same RSS fascist regime that worked with the deep state actors, with the deep state itself. And what does Biden do? Tell me, what did Biden do? This was coming. India got ousted, kicked out of Afghanistan because it has been abusing the land of Afghans for 2 decades. And it couldn't take it. So it had to retaliate. But who is the victim here? The victim of this Indian retaliation are the American people, who are going to suffer if peace is sabotaged by these deep state scumbags. Whether it's Dick Cheney, whether it's George Bush, whether it's even Joe Biden, who technically, categorically signed on the Iraq invasion, we have matrix of save your ass, save your butt, I cover you, you cover me, that is responsible for the manslaughter of so many American people yesterday. And this is just the beginning. They want to destroy any effort that this world does to procure peace, to save the lives of people who matter, civilians, Afghan women, children, American people, and the rest of the world, because a non-peaceful, volatile Afghanistan means a very volatile world. We have been struggling for the last 2 decades in trying to fight this menace of terrorism. ISIS wouldn't have been created if Iraq was not invaded. Who invaded Iraq? Who signed off on the petition to invade Iraq? Joe Biden did. RSS has been working on a specific targeted agenda to occupy, invade its entire territories, surrounding territories of India, in order to claim a Hindu land, a land where there is no room for a non-Hindu. This is the same kind of campaign that Hitler did. But today, when RSS is doing it from India, how come we are not doing anything about it? If Hitler tried to smuggle uranium, the whole mainstream media of US would have erupted into a volcano, resisting, campaigning against Hitler. But there's not a single news of India trying to smuggle uranium from its land against the UN Charter, against the international treaties that it has signed. Why is that? Why has the Joe Biden administration not confronted India over its illicit, unconstitutional activities that led technically to yesterday's manslaughter? This is not going to stop. This will continue unless this deep state, with its deep state actors and allies, is neutralized, diffused, and deactivated. And who's going to do that? Joe Biden, who signed the declaration to invade Iraq that eventually led to creation of ISIS? I mean, seriously, whom are you kidding? Who are you kidding? You trust Joe Biden to do that? He invaded Iraq. He signed on a declaration to invade Iraq. He has kept quiet when he saw India smuggling uranium. You expect Joe Biden to take care of this for you? No. He's not going to take care of this for you. You have to take care of this yourself. We need the community to stand up and rise and demand for peace to be established in Afghanistan so that there can be peace in the rest of the world. We have to act ourselves to demand to neutralize these deep state actors that are committing their misadventures in order to get their MIC, military industrial complex, continue to function and profit. If we don't do that as a community, this will continue. More and more innocent people are going to die. More and more innocent soldiers are going to die. The deep state actors won't stop blasting the innocent civilians or the soldiers who are trying to save them unless the American people rise and demand for what is right to be orchestrated. to confront India over its foul play that it has been orchestrating within the region, abusing Afghanistan for its own vested interests, to continue to occupy the Indian occupied Kashmir and to use its consulates against its neighbor Pakistan. Our inaction today will lead to more blasts like this tomorrow. More people are at risk of getting killed, blasted, terrorized, martyred because of our inaction today, because our administration refuses to confront India over its misadventures, over its war crimes, over its illicit uranium smuggling. So we have to speak up. We have to speak up. We have to rise. We have to protest and demand from Joe Biden to neutralize, diffuse, deactivate the deep state that is playing foul in Afghanistan so that we can save lives, we can have an uninterrupted peace within the region. Because once we have uninterrupted peace within the region, we can expect uninterrupted peace throughout the world. Where do you think India smuggled the uranium to? Most likely, India smuggled it to terrorists like ISIS. And what do you think ISIS is going to do with this uranium? ISIS is going to make a nuke and use it to conduct a terrorist attack on US, on anyone. So it's imperative that we rise, we confront India for its illicit, unconstitutional role in Afghanistan, against the UN Geneva Conventions, against the international law. Our silence today is what caused the blast yesterday. Our silence yesterday caused the blast yesterday. Our silence today is going to cause more blasts tomorrow. So if you're silent, it means you condone to what they did. Do you condone to more American soldiers getting killed in Kabul because they're trying to evacuate civilians? Do you condone to what happened yesterday? If no, then nip this in the bud. Go get this agenda deactivated. Neutralize, deactivate, diffuse the deep state and the deep state actors like Modi, like BJP, like RSS, who are working hand in hand with the deep state at the cost of American soldiers, at the cost of peace, not just in Afghanistan, but all over the world. We gotta do this today before more blasts happen tomorrow. And don't expect Joe Biden to do it. You have to push him to do it. And you can do it if you think about the horrific consequences that are going to happen if you don't act upon this today. Bye-bye.